Hi there, this is the first video on in regards to the minimum wage project. This is mostly on Excel, so I'm walking through the instructions that are right here on the Moodle page. You can see that I've given you some minimum wage values in different specific years, and I'm going to use a Excel document to look at these. I have only entered the base information that I gave you. Step number 3 here says that you should use this website included to get more years. I would say that maybe at least 5 more years would be good. Of course, the more the better. The more data we have, the more accurate it is. Now I want you to notice one thing that I'm not going to have here is that if, for example, you add in a year, say 1972, you are from that website only going to get this minimum wage value. So it might be, $1.75. So you can leave this value blank if you don't know it. Okay, so it's okay to leave a blank there if you don't know it at this moment. Now I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to get rid of it. So now read carefully the 5 rules that every Excel document should follow. You'll see that I have done this here. I have done one, I've labeled my columns so that they make sense. I have saved my file, save, with something that makes sense, minimum wage demo. I've saved it into a file location that I can find again. It's under my pre-calculus folder, so I know where it is. And then I'm going to use another one of those rules when I make my chart. So here we're going to make 2 charts from this data, so I'm going to show you how to do this. A chart with the years as the independent variable and the minimum wage as the dependent variable. Now, independent variable basically means the X value. Now, there's a couple different ways, depending on how you select this, that can cause people a few confusions. So let me walk you through this. The first is, to make a chart, we're going to select first the column that we want as our X's, and then I'm holding down the click button over to the minimum wage there, and I let go. Then I say insert, and in this case what I want is a scatter plot. Okay, so I want something that looks like this. Now I could connect the lines, that's okay too, but I'm going to have this one. So as it thinks here, there it is. Now Excel's smart enough to know, because I highlighted those in the proper order, that what I want to show is the minimum hourly wage, the MHW. You can see it has the years down here. Now it's not well labeled. We'll get on to how to label the axes well and everything. Now I'm going to show you first how to add this set of data, Now, so this is chart 1. I could also even change this title if I wanted to be chart 1. Actually, right now I'm just going to make a separate chart with the 1996 value. So I'm going to kind of repeat this process. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select those. Now here I let go of my mouse and I hold the control button. So control, and I'm holding it down, click and drag. Notice that I selected my years first, then my $96 next. That the order is important. And I'm going to say insert a scatter plot. Now it's kind of over, one's over the top of the other, so let me move that down a little bit. You can notice it's labeled properly. Okay. Now, if I had wanted to put these in the same chart, notice they have the same X values. I could put them in the same chart. Let me show you how I could do that. If I select the chart, notice how it's highlighted here. I can right-click, and I can say Select Data. And I'm given this handy little... Now, I don't like this screen. It's not very clear, but what we're going to do is add another... This is our minimum wage one that's there. I'm going to add a new one. And it asks me for now instead of me typing some things, I'm going to select them. So I want to find the name, and that's going to be $1996. I want to know the X values, so I'm going to go down here, and I'm actually just going to do the values. Okay, now this I always get confused on. Notice how it has a value here already. You really have to make sure to delete that first. So my Y values here are going to be these values, and then I hit OK. And I hit OK again, and there it is. One's overlaid the other. So those are both good options as far as creating the charts. One other step here that's at the on this walkthrough is at the bottom, find the average of each one. So I'm going to go back to my columns here, and I don't need to find the average of the years. That's not a very useful value. So what I can do is I highlight the data I want to look at. I could have highlighted the word as well. It's smart enough to ignore that. I can go to data, formulas, and it says auto sum, but it doesn't just sum them, it will find the average, and it puts it right here. I can do the same thing here. This time I'll select the word just because, in case you do that, average, and it gets that as well. Now I'm going to make sure those are labeled because otherwise I have just random values. I'm going to say average. Okay. Notice a few things here that I've done to my spreadsheet just to make it look nice. I've put borders around it so it's really clear. So, and I would encourage you to be neat with your work, to make sure you have these things labeled. You might look at them in a week and be like, wait, what did I do there? So, make the boxes if you know how. I can show you how to do borders in class if that's something that you want to do. So there we go. Thanks.